Hi, can everyone hear me? Am
Yes,
I on?
La. Yes, La.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much for joining. We are very early, aren't we? Hi, Sherab. I can see you're there. He muted himself. Hi, great. So is everyone from the HR sort of background? Do we have people from other backgrounds too out here? I'm the only one. We're a very quiet team. Hi.
Hi, here's Nafaz joining you from Colombo, Sri Lanka. Hi.
Hi. So do you pronounce yourself Nafaz, right? Am I right?
Nafaz, yeah, spot on.
Nafaz.
Glad that you got the first time. Not everyone does it.
Well, I lived in the Middle East for quite some time, so.
Okay, all right.
Oh, it's so nice to see you guys. So how everyone else is so quiet. We were really hoping that it would be an interactive session. Hello. We can see you now.
Hi. Yes. Yeah, I'm Kamrong from Cambodia.
Good afternoon. Is it afternoon out there or is it morning?
Still afternoon, right? Now here is 4:53 p.m.
4:53. Well, that's not too bad actually. It's 4 p.m. in Bhutan out here.
Okay.
So you're joining us all the way from Cambodia. This is fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
And are you also in the HR business or what do you do?
Yeah, I'm working in the line of management. We work with the financial consulting company.
Okay.
And I'm the chairman of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we are developing an app to support Cambodian people to manage their own financial like being or something like that.
All right, that sounds very exciting. A lot of new things coming up in the financial space nowadays, isn't it?
Okay.
Hello.
So nice to meet you here.
It's so nice to see you too. So nice to meet you. I can see that Sherab is in from Awesome Bhutan, but he's muted himself and he doesn't want to talk to us. Is that so? Sherab? Yeah, he's a little shy. All right, so we have, who else do we have? We have Namgil Hamo. Everyone is, hello.
Hello, La.
Namgil, so nice to have you with us. We're not going to see you today, are we?
Okay, I'll put on my camera.
Oh,
hello,
there
everyone.
you are. So what do you do, Namgil?
I'm a marketing officer, actually. I had the marketing division for Bank of Bhutan. So I got a call yesterday asking me to attend this talk. Then I was shared that it was about HR, and I say, okay, I have team members to manage. So what I
always a great
get
thing,
to take from this talk.
Okay. Absolutely. I hope
nice
that it's for a little bit of help. We also have Kepang who has joined us. Oh, absolutely. And hello, Kim Doshi. We can see you, but you're on mute. So very nice to see all of you. We really hope that this particular platform can bring all of us together, you know, in terms of the human space. Really try and understand not just how to interact with our team members, but also in all over the space, from recruitment until exit interview. That's the whole cycle for HR, right? All right, so I can see that we have somebody from Dell too. And everyone's starting to join in. It's going to be a very informal sort of a conversation. What we want to do is we want to get to know each other. We want to have a sort of a network where all of us can get, reach out to the other person if we have any sort of questions or challenges, anything of sort. Kezar, are you still trying to figure out your audio?
No, I'm using the mobile. You can hear me now. So you will
Okay.
see me on the laptop and my voice will be from mobile, which is much, much better. But I'm not able to set the background, unfortunately. I'm feeling sad.
Oh, we can do that tomorrow, next time. Hi, Sangya, we can see you. Oh, Del is back online. Hello.
Morning, ma'am.
Hi, Dorji.
And also background is not working, ma'am.
We will fix that, not a problem at all. So tell us about yourself from Dell. Are you from the HR background?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your name?
My name is Teshyang Zom. Currently, I'm working at BEA, Bhutan Electricity Authority, as an HR assistant HR officer, ma'am.
Oh, we're so happy to have you, we're really trying to make sure that all the HRs of Bhutan get together, and we try and make sure that we sort of build this particular profession high up, right? So it's so nice that you guys could join us. Did you hear about us through our email blast, or was it Facebook, others media platforms?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so how did you got to know about us?
Madam Teshi Demo told me about this, but I don't know anything about your organization and this program. So she's saying that we got something related to HR, so she recommended me that it's all about recruitment or something. So I told her that I want to join in this meeting and let me see what things are going on.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, this particular one is about recruitment, but we wanted to do a series where we, touch point on every different element of HR processes. So we really hope that you can join us in the next session also, and would be able to participate, and let's figure out what to do next for all of us. We HRs and people in the the people space needs to stick together, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Of course. So who else? Who do we have? Gem has been in mute for a very long time.
By the way, I can see Miss Pen Bopa from Cambodia. Hi, Miss Bopa.
Hello. I think there's some issue with the volume from your end. Perfect.
Okay. Now you hear me, right?
Yes, fantastic.
Okay. I'm Pan Bopa from Cambodia, from Potipol company as well. I'm the CEO of Potipol.
Good to see you. Good to see you here. So nice to see you after a long time.
I have to thanks again to Kezang for sharing this opportunity to me. Yeah, I got this news from Kezang.
Minu, I think we are stuck for. I think maybe we should start.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, Kuzampo, and Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the first of its kind. We call it the Beta P&C Dialogue, which stands for Beta People and Culture Dialogue. So we want to talk about anything that is related to people and culture in that space. So, we could be recruitment or to, like I said, anything until the exit interview, right? So what we are trying to do out here is to create a platform where all the HRs and all the entrepreneurs and business leaders who are involved with the people dimension of the company to get together. We can share best practices, we can share challenges in Bhutan, we can share ideas. So that is our idea for the platform. What we also want to do is to bridge the gap between the academic setting and also the corporate setting. So what happens is a lot of time, the corporate sector keeps on talking about, oh my God, we have a lot of graduates coming out, but they're not employable. And then the academic setting says, we're doing our best. We're trying to educate the children, the students as much as possible, but we still have a gap somewhere out there. So we want to bridge that gap. My name is Minu. Let me introduce myself. My name is Minu, and I am the Chief Learning and Development Officer of Beta Park. Like a lot of you may not have heard of Beta Park because we haven't really technically started yet. We are based out of Chamjeka, Kabesa area. It's about 11 kilometers away from Thimphu. And we are mostly looking at trying to create a self-sustaining ecosystem for a lifelong learner. So which also, tries to touch base upon not just academics, but also the corporate. So we have academic tertiary education programs that we have through our franchises, which is LIBT. If you want to know more about us, you can always go to www.betapark.bt. And on the other hand, we also have a branch for corporate trainings. So now before we go ahead and start on, trying to create a lot of training programs and saying, okay, these are the training programs we have, we wanted to understand what are the current challenges, what are the current situation that all corporate sectors is facing, the human resources, the learning and development personnel, or even entrepreneurs with, a small group of people together. So we wanted to bridge that gap, and that is why we have created this platform, the Beta P&C Dialogue. We want it to be a dialogue. So we want to hear from you. We want to talk. We do have a lot of ideas, but we definitely want to hear from you too. It is going to be a monthly series. So we thought that since January, let's start with recruitment. Let's talk about recruitment. Now, we did catch hold of somebody who was quite, who has been in the recruitment, the human space for a very long time. Unfortunately, he also happens to be out of Thimphu without a lot of network. Mr. Doji Tenzin Phunso, he is an MBA in HR from Asian Institute of Technology in Bangkok. And he's been in the HR field for a very, very long time. Now, because he did not have network to really come and join us and talk to us, he has shared some of his experiences and some of his best practices, which we've got together. So I would like Kazang to take this forward. Kazang is our CEO at the Beta Park. He's the entire, the captain on all of our projects. So please go ahead.
Thank you, Minu. Is the audio coming clear?
Oh, fantastic.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Good evening from the mountains of Thimphu. We are located, I know Minu has given you a brief background. We are located 11 kilometers away from the main Thimphu city in the pristine jungles of Kabesa. So it's coming. The day is a little dull We were thinking it might snow, but it is turning out to be okay for now. So with this, on behalf of Dorji Tenzin Phuntsok, who used to be the HR and Administration Director with the Duke Green Power Corporation Limited for more than 25 years, I have the opportunity to speak on his behalf because the place he stays, also in the mountains on the outskirts of Thimphu, has a very unstable internet. So I have been asked to speak for him. I know I will not be able to do full justice, but I will try my best to convey the message that comes from the other side of the mountains around Thimphu. And especially, I see our friends from Cambodia, both Mr. Kamrang and Ms. Bopa, who I used to work with before I started this project. And so good to see you. And I'm sure I can also see a lot of attendees from outside. Thank you for joining us. And this is the first of the series. So there might be technical hitches. Bear with us. We'll make it better next time. Notes from Mr. Dorji Tenzin Phuntsok. What is recruitment? Recruitment and selection, also called RNS, are two separate activities or functions of the people and culture environment. Recruitment is like drawing specifications of an item you want to purchase. Recruitment activities would include workforce analysis, job analysis, which includes job description and job specifications, workforce requisition, vacancy announcement, receiving applications. And the next step is selection, like you choosing the item that meets your specifications out of several other choices. Selection process would include a screening process from a long list to a short list, selection interview, return presentation, discussion, viva voce, final job offer. For me, I would like to consider probation period as the final phase of selection, because your job gets regularized only after clearing the probation period. So I'm reading for him in the first language. Of course, recruitment is not as simple as buying a shirt off the shelf. It is more complicated than buying an item off the shelf. Why and when recruitment and selection happens? Recruitment and selection happens with the need to fill a vacant position. When the post is rendered vacant as a result of incumbent staff leaving the organization due to reasons such as retirement, voluntary resignation, termination, death, promotion, transfers, etc. Of course, recruitment also happens when we create new positions. Organization would also recruit people to put in place successors in place. Recruitment and selection is also triggered by new business ventures, obviously in terms of creating new positions and roles. Recruitment and selection process in DGPC. These are experiences from his leading the department in DGPC. It involves at least 10 steps, such as receiving workforce requisition, number one, then HR examination, if the workforce requisition is as per the approved workforce requirement, process case for approval, then the vacancy is announced based on the internal approvals, then they receive applications and compiles these applications. It then leads to a screening process from a long list to a short list by the committee, which is followed by an interview by the interview selection panel, preset with preset interview parameters. They follow what is called the STAR techniques, situation, task, action, and result. STAR is standing for situation, task, action, and result. Then the HR sends the offer to successful candidates or regret letters to unsuccessful candidates. And this is followed by the signing of the employment contract. He also has some follow-up notes on this. These processes are meant only for entry levels. Steps would depend on the complexity of the cases. Sometimes HR sends back the requisition to intending office if the justification is not adequate. In the case of functional heads, division and unit heads, selection process is much elaborate. However, announcement is limited to internal candidates. While we use STAR techniques here, we also use situation immersion test, meaning we give situation case and see how he or she is able to comprehend, analyze, and provide solutions. We also then take 360-degree feedback. In the case of post-vacancy, director level and above, it is made open. Selection process is executed by the board HR committee and based on the DHI CEO selection guidelines. Process would involve, for those of you not familiar with the structure, the Duke Green Power Corporation operates under the holding company called Duke Holdings and Investments. This is what DHI is referring to. It's like the Temasek Holdings in Sri Lanka, in Singapore. Sorry. In case of directors, the process would involve reappointment of the incumbent. He should, of course, get an employee rating of 85% and above for the last 2 years. If he or she fails, then you have to go into internal search process, which then leads to an open competitive process. And if that is not successful, a headhunt process. Recruitment and selection practice in DGPC. Recruitment and selection is based on the workforce projections, which should be in line with the corporate and HR strategy, which provides workforce projections for 5 years subject to annual reviews. Minu, since I have some time, I'm just going to share the screen so that people don't miss on it, if I'm allowed to.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure you should be able to. Let me see.
I don't see it, so I'm just going to continue with the speech.
Could you check one more time?
Okay, did you set it up? Okay.
Yes.
I don't see it, so okay, share screen. I'm sharing the screen, and then can you see this?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I know it's a little, let me increase this so that others can see it as well. So I'm in the section recruitment and selection practice in DGPC. Recruitment and selection is based on, I'm in the right place, yeah. Based on the workforce projections, we should be in line with the corporate and HR strategy, which provides workforce projections for 5 years subject to annual reviews. It has a well-written generic job descriptions for all jobs in place. Selection process includes the following: written test, interview, and group discussion or presentation. Then this is followed by an interview by the interview selection panel. It will then proceed to physical and practical tests, depending upon the nature of the job. Also, which includes signing conflict of interest by the ISP is mandatory and are held accountable for any misgiving. Markings are based on set parameters, not ad hoc parameters. Recruitment and selection process is in full compliance with the requirements of the Ministry of Labor and Human Resources and Duke Holding and Investment Guidelines. Campus recruitment was tried 2 to 3 times. They stopped after realizing that it's limited to university students based in Bhutan. Those on government scholarships ex-Bhutan were deprived of the opportunities. Sponsored students after class 12 to pursue in the field that the company required. So how important is the recruitment and selection? One of the most important functions of HR, so as to select candidate both in quality and quantity. That's why it is important. Translating vision, mission, and objectives into actions. Organizational success will hinge on the quality of recruitment and selection practice in the organization. Better recruitment and selection process would lead to less cost on employee learning and development activities, lesser burden in having to deal with disciplinary cases, better employee performance leading to higher productivity, easy to onboard fresh recruits. What are some of the challenges? It's difficult to get the right talents. There's a mismatch between supply and demand. Recruitment and selection is inefficient, painstaking, and time consuming, especially when you receive so many applications. Parameters such as communication skills, attitude, leadership can be subjective and can go wrong. Knowledge of and expertise of the interviewer are also questionable at times. Are they committed? Selection is more driven by academic performance most of the times. Then the use of social media anonymously by unselect candidates, he says, venting all their frustration is not only painful, but would damage the image of the company. Last part, way forward, he says, Doji says there's need to improve the recruitment and selection process and procedures. There's a need to shift in the policy and mindset of the CEOs and HR managers, and the need for introduction and application of psychometric tests such as MBTI, FIRO-B, artificial intelligence, chatbots, gamification would help improve the RNS process. Benchmarking RNS process with Google and Microsoft, Amazon and Yahoo, and also outsourcing to reduce burden on the organization. There is a shift in the national policy. Ministry of Labor and Human Resources needs to change. The Royal Civil Service Commission needs to change, and HR managers needs to work hard to convince themselves and their CEOs that automation is the way forward and answer to improve overall recruitment and selection process and procedures. So this is the end of his speech. Thank you very much. And also I missed welcoming our colleagues from Sri Lanka, Microimage, who will be doing a presentation after this, a demo for us, a platform that they have. And welcome to this first series of the dialogues, Microimage and team. And we are very excited and look forward to the demo, followed by a Q&A. You can also, I think we are also live on Facebook, right? And then we'll be tracking the questions. We're also live on Zoom, so we'll be responding to your questions here. And given audio may crosstalk, we will restrict to questions on the question and answer interaction page. With that, over to you, Minu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I was muted. That was quite an extensive extensive list that he has sent us, almost 3 pages. Am I right? 3 pages of list. Well, recruitment, of course, does differ according to industries and according to the kind of position that you require. So now, before we go ahead with the next session, can I also ask a very quick polling question? You can have 30 seconds. It will appear on your screen. Before I go ahead, could we stop on the sharing? Okay, got it. So here is your poll. In a year, how many times do you do ad hoc recruitment? Ad hoc recruitment would be recruitment of personnel that is not already there on your business plan. So I'm assuming that each company would have a business plan in the beginning of the year. So how many ad hocs do you do in a year? I can see the results coming in. And I'll go ahead and share it with you once you are done. So we're almost done, about 50% done. All right, this is really great. Any other responses? We're still at 50% voting. All right, let me end this. All right, so last chance to vote. If it has not already been done, I will be ending the poll and sharing the results. So this is the results that we have. 35% says that you do ad hoc recruitment once in a year. 55% does twice in a year. And actually there are 10% of the population who does more than thrice in a year. So there are 3 numbers of recruitment that you're doing over the year, which is really, not there in the business plan. It's a fantastic, result. All right, great. So there you go on the recruitment. Now, like Kazan also mentioned, we do have our partner company from Sri Lanka who has joined us today. So we have Nafaz Jalaluddin, Mr. Nafaz Jalaluddin, who is the head of business for microimaging in South Asia. Now, he is an expert in human resources information system, specifically in the software domain. So he's a technical person with a business title. So Nafaz, over to you. I'm sure you have a very exciting product to share with us. Let me see if you can. Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah. Let me quickly, very quickly share you a quick presentation. Minu, can you confirm if?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. So good evening once again. Nafaz Jalaluddin joining on behalf of Microimage from Colombo, Sri Lanka. And apparently I loved the session which was managed by Kezang, which went through, of course, 3 pages of a document with wealth of knowledge. But actually that sets the spot for me, because that document listed actually from the hiring process and the administration matters that is involved, which is cumbersome and also time consuming. So our application has certain modules, which I will once again give you a slight intro. So that document really helped me, since you all already know, based on the things that he has discussed, that the administration matters, which is involved in the hiring process. So Microimage is, of course, a software company, a 2-decade-old software company that delivers an HR software product on the cloud. And we will take a quick 5 minutes on the presentation and maybe another 10 minutes on a live demonstration that out of our software will specifically concentrate on the recruitment management, or we technically call it talent acquisition module, right? So you would see a stunning similarity between what Kezang just discussed and what our module delivers. So overall, when you say an HRIS system, I'm sure many of you all already have been using systems which manages your attendance, which manages your leave, payroll, performance management, training management, then recruitment management. So since the whole discussion is about recruitment, I would love to take you all through the whole recruitment process in a pretty brief. So let's jump on to the presentation. Let me put this on full screen. All right. So once again, talent acquisition is a module. We have at least about 10 to 12 pretty popular modules, including attendance, leave, performance, and talent acquisition is another module on the MyHCM cloud application. And we have done some very recent integrations, which I will also discuss certain options, which is very interesting. But first I'll take you all through the whole talent acquisition setup. So once again, I realize this would be slightly more information than that you all can consume on this quick 10-15 minutes. But I'll try my level best to keep it interesting and entertaining. So rather than going through on each boxes on this flow, the whole idea is a company would first on a financial year create their manpower budget, right? The number of recruitments that for each department that should happen per year, right? So that can be planned on our recruitment module. Then based on those budgets, time to time departments would request, we call a recruitment requisition will be raised to recruit an employee, right? So that's the second part which is explained on this, right? Where first the budget is planned, then based on the budget and as and when required, the RR is raised. Then once the RR is raised, RR needs to be approved by a certain executive level where the recruitment process can begin, right? So once the recruitment process is published, which means internally it can be published, it can be published into a career portal, which I will also show you a career portal and how the career portals can be integrated through your website into MyHCM application. It can be directly published into the social media and external job sites. So I hope you are clear, which is the budget is planned, the recruitment is approved, and the recruitment has begun by publishing these into this mentioned channel. And then, of course, once it is published, CVs will start flowing. So I will show you how the CVs are managed within our MyHCM system. And then the interview process, how interview process can be scheduled based on the designation. Certain designations will have a single interview or 2 or 3. So based on designations and job category, you will plan number of interviews and how that shortlisting process is taking place within the system. And finally, once selected, how the employee is onboarded. So the whole idea is from budgeting to CV submission to onboarding, the whole thing is managed through one single application. So once it is onboarded, once the employee is onboarded, of course, he will belong to the employee master database, which then he will be allocated into time and attendance, shift management, leave, where the other modules on MyHCM software comes into play. Right, moving on, a requisition request is made. Right, I will just take you all through pretty quickly. And a seamless process for recruitment planning. So we have the standard 6 steps method where you raise a checklist, publish the vacancy, select the candidates, schedule the interview, shortlist them, and do the final selection. So we have these 6 steps managed within the system. The whole recruitment planning can be managed. I will also explain you how on the live demonstration. Offline applications, if usually even on the Sri Lankan context or on the South Asian context, it's pretty rare right now where you will have offline applications where people post it to you. But however, if you still have that experience, people either would post it or physically hand over, then you'll have to do manual entries. Or even per se, people would email you, right? Which is still popular. People emailing you a CV where you will have to do a manual entry into the system, right? So we call that offline application. Right, so interviews with candidates via chatbots, which is once again a brilliant innovation that Microimage has come up with. One of the very few companies out there who has this capability. Right, I will show you how a chatbot is integrated into the recruitment process. So a potential candidate, instead of blindly sending out a CV, he can also answer certain questions based on a chatbot. And also we went a step ahead and we also integrated a video interview when the CV is submission. So you can ask certain number of questions, and for each question, the applicant or the candidate can record a small clip. So this certainly helps you to filter out the right candidates, sending out you in the CVs. As Kezang said, that usually an MNC would start receiving 1,000+ CVs for a certain position. So this, having the chatbot, having a video interview, certainly helps the HR to administrate the right candidate, to make sure that 1,000 is filtered down to at least 200, 300 solid applicants. Plus, on the other hand, it also gives a tremendous opportunity for an applicant to show off their skill through this video answers, right? Whether it is technical or right answering or language. So certain, rather than blindly sending you a CV, you will have more information, at least about 60-70% more information to make a call whether he is the right candidate, whether he can be invited into the next process. Right, chatbot and video screening outcomes can be monitored through the administrator panel. So admins can go through what were the answers, what were the videos. We'll also touch base on that. let me quickly, right, couple of screens on our chatbot and video screening outcomes. Right, then the onboarding experience. Once again, we have an excellent onboarding tool. Once the recruitment is finalized, HR will onboard this. Then the first time an employee would log into their personal portal, right, using a username password, then they will be taken through certain video tutorials, certain documentation they are mandatory to have a look at, to walk through, right, guiding about company policies, and he will be fully onboarded into the company. So that's another interesting area. Right. Then finally, all the recruitment has to be transferred into analytic data. We have the standard set of reports, of course, but analytic data really helps you that to understand how many CVs came in, how many got rejected, how many is currently in the job bank, how many was recruited, and all that has to be very beautifully visualized. Yeah. So your senior management plus the HR team can easily understand for each requisition or recruitment, right? What are the numbers throughout the recruitment process, right? What happened to a CV that entered and how many people got on board? Every single data in between is tracked and presented beautifully that you can make strategic decisions based on this analytic reports. Right, so let's quickly jump into my browser. Let me reshare, let me close this up. Right, so this is the homepage for the whole MyHCM application. Rather than going through a huge introduction, I will try to keep it pretty short. So instead of going through into software, I'll directly jump into the area where we manage the recruitment process. Yeah. Right. So as you can see, it's another additional module into the whole application. So you would see that we have, self-service, employee engagement, time and attendance, within time and attendance, leave management, so on and so forth, and then performance management, claim management, and all that. Then finally the recruitment management. So I'll first open up the recruitment planning process. We are going through pretty brief, right? I'm just touching, I'll go through about 2 to 5% on the software just to give you a scope how this whole thing operates. I hope you are keeping track on time. Just let me know, right, if I'm overboard. Right, first let's go to an external website. So now the site that you see here can be considered as a careers page of an organization, right? So let's assume that BetaPark/careers, this is where your applications are published. Once it is released by the company using the MyHCM software, once it is published, you would see anyone who has access to web can access your web careers page and see the open vacancies, right? So you can actually open each one and start applying for each position, right? So right now I have an executive. First I'll cover this and I'll just jump on to the other part as well. So now an applicant wants to apply. This is the steps that you would go through. You would fill in a small short form of an interview form, right? I have some information here. However, let me so a CV also has been attached here, and let's try to submit this. Right. So your application has been successfully submitted, which means this has been sent to the MyHCM recruitment module, where now admin has access to all these CVs. And the next step is admin will give you a grant where you will receive a link to attend your chatbot interview. And if the chatbot interview is fine, you can attend your video interviews, which I will slightly avoid right now. It takes time to go through the whole process. So let's go ahead and jump back to the software where admins has access to. Sorry about that. Let me quickly load the recruitment module. Let's jump into a requisition. Now let's click on the step 1. So you have all the six steps here. Just click on step 1. Right. This gives you an idea of what are the approved requisitions by your company, which you can start to recruit employees. Yeah. So I have executive, branch managers, accounts executives, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you can publish this recruitment. Let me also click on a publish. Right. It takes you automatically to the step 2, which means you are about to publish this recruitment, right? RR. And this has the descriptions, required tags, and all that. And you can select how are you going to publish. So it requires to be published into your career portal, to your notice board, to your social channels. You can also click on them, right? And then you can actually publish this job post, which everyone gets the information that a job has been opened in this organization. Then they will of course see that in their career portal and they will apply, which is the step 1 that I just did. And then on to your step number 3, you can actually select the candidates based on the designation that they have submitted for. So I have clicked on the step number 2, I have clicked a certain vacancy name or designation. These are the employees who has actually submitted their CVs, right? And I can go through their CV. I can also go through their job application. I can also go through their bot interview, right? So let me take a step back. Just excuse me here. Let's go to check requisition. Let's go to a branch manager. So I'm on step number 3. I'm about to check the CVs that I have received for executives, branch managers, accountant. Let's jump into an, let's go to an accountant. Fortunately, internet is quite slow today.
Well, Nafas, you're preaching to the choir. Okay. In Bhutan, we are well known for bad internet. Plus, it looks like it might snow very soon. So.
Oh, is it? That's going to be really beautiful there.
It does look like it.
I think so far so good. We can hear you clearly.
Absolutely.
I mean, the system might get a little slow, but so far so good, Nafas.
Okay, all right. So I'll stick to a couple of job applications that we have received. I can of course go through the CV plus job application plus the bot interview questions that he has faced. So these questions were actually answered when the CV was submitted. So that's a step that I have avoided taking you all through due to the time constraint. So you can actually make sure that these questions are answered. And this is designed in a certain way. If certain questions are answered unsuccessfully, you can also have yes/no questions, right? So when it is answered unsuccessfully, the system will actually refuse the applicant from there and send an automated email that, better luck next time, or a very polite mail, of course. Yeah. So this is once again, as Kezang told, like, a time-consuming administration matter where the system process managers, right, and filters out the right candidates where you can start working and enhancing them on. So once these are finalized, of course, then, if you're happy with the video interview and the CV, then of course you will send them out, right? You can select it, and you can also select the interview stage, interview 1, interview 2, if it is a physical interview, and you will carry forward. So then you will schedule the interviews for those candidates on step number 4, right? Then they will attend, they will receive. Now, once again, the whole communication is also fully automated. Based on the selection, candidate will receive an email saying that you have been selected for this interview at this location with this interview panel, right? Then that interview panel will also receive, hey, you are having about 10 candidates on this date. So you need to make sure that you need to attend this interview room at this time. And they will give the feedback on based on the interview, where it will be taken back to, again, for the shortlisting process based on the panelist feedback, right? So based on the panelist feedback, once again, you will do certain shortlistings. And let's open up an accountant that has been shortlisted. Oops. Let's go to shortlisting back again. So once the interviews are scheduled, as I said, each designation will have different type of interviews. Certain ones will have a examination, a physical interview, or an online interview. So for each designation, you can create those criterias, right? Once again, I totally understand it's not easy to keep intact with the whole discussion. When you see at least a 1 hour, 2 hour demonstration on the system with the actual data sets where you submit a CV and you take through someone the journey, then the HR team easily understand, okay, how efficient the tool. So we are just scratching the surface. I'm trying to put the word out there, say, hey, that you all have a fantastic tool, that the administration burden can be managed, right? And the CVs or your complete data set can be kept securely, accessed anytime, and have a flow from step number 1 to step number 6. So we'll go through actually shortlist, then you will do the final selection on step number 6, and you can actually select them and onboard to your organization. Then the onboarding process is a complete different process where employee will receive their username, password through their email, and they can start accessing their employee self-service. We call that ESS. You can access your employee self-service through a mobile application or through the web version alone. Right. So on the final step, as it's mentioned here, you can even send the offer letter. So offer letter templates. So as I said, the whole communication tool is also inbuilt, including the offer letter. Right. Every time that you do a certain transaction with the system, these emails are generated back and forth between the candidate and the HR team. Right. So you don't have to write up different emails inviting them back and forth. So the recruitment process at a simple stage looks like this. We would love to have, if anyone else is really interested, at least for knowledge, right? We don't look for a continuous business. We would love to share our knowledge on how a digital product like MIHCM, right? A product which is leading in the South Asian market, has a proven 20 years of track record, can assist you all, right? At least to share the knowledge, then you all know, okay, there is a product that this can be done through. I guess, I would love to have any questions. If you all have anything, I'm sure I can, I have a couple of minutes to assist you all with.
Thank you so much. Yes, well, we're open to questions if anyone has a question on the tool itself. Well, actually, I did have a question. Now, recruitment is a very human process, right? How do you make sure that a digital product like this, touch base on the human aspect of the entire process itself? Is there anything in specific, or is it like check?
Yeah. I also have this personal opinion on this, right? How is the right opportunity? There are certain employees who would love or who perform well on a physical interview, and you see their emotions and you give them an opportunity. I hope you're talking about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So see, as I said, there are two areas on this process.
Mm-hmm.
Once the CV is submitted and you answer questions and you do video recordings. Once again, the video recordings are not mandatory. It can be opened up to certain designations. Mm-hmm. For executive levels, you will never ask video recordings. Of course, you will directly interview them, right? So for it suits for a designation. But see, what we give you is a tool to manage, right? Not to automate your complete hiring process. This is a tool that will help you to administrate. Mm-hmm. Right. So we have seen certain clients where they completely rely on the tool, which is good. If you're an MNC, if you have about 1,000, 2,000 CVs flowing to a single designation, of course you cannot attend everyone individually. So you need to filter that 20% of solid candidates where you would spend time with. And so that's where we pitch in, right? But I do understand your concern that is completely up to the HR team to bring in that human touch, right? And the actual overall MyHCM vision is to remove these administration burdens on the HR people, right? Because because now, I have worked for a company with 55,000 employees. I know that in that company, we hired the best HR people with the best PhDs.
Absolutely.
But ultimately what they do is complete administration. They don't have time to attend a feedback, a grievance, or to do a quality recruitment, to hold on to quality people, right? When people leave, they will just do a checklist and people would leave. So that is where my HCM pitch in, we would say we don't automate your HR process. We automate your HR administration process. So you have quality time to spend with your employees, candidates. Overall, you can, actually practice what you were educated on rather than doing administrative tasks. So that will be quite a lengthy answer. I really had to put it out there.
Thank you so much. I think that also answers one of the questions that we have, which says, how do we guarantee that the tool will keep corruption of recruitment at bay? So the answer again is back to the same thing. The tool is a tool. At the end of the day, it's the human who has to make sure that it is valid and it is done ethically, right? Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So there's also another question out here. How easy is it to install the software? Is it cloud-based also?
Absolutely, it's absolutely purely cloud-based.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true cloud project, actually. Even though Microimage is a 20-year-old company, this product was released in 2017. So it is specifically built for cloud technology, right? And when it comes to deployment, since there is no on-premises installation, you don't have to buy up servers, spend all that fortune on capital expenditure. It's pretty easy. If you are a 500 to 1,000 employee company, within a month or a couple of months, we can completely roll out an application. But obviously, as I said, we are managing the administration. Even to manage the administration, you need to have a quality HR team, right? People who understand to use this tool, right? It will never automate the HR process. You need to have HR people. So once again, it's a complete cloud-based.
Well, there is a very specific question out here which says, how much would it cost?
Well. That's the $1 million question here, right? So we have two variables. One, the number of employees in your organization.
Okay.
Right? More the employees, lesser the per employee cost you would pay, which also says, since it's a cloud-based product, it works on a monthly subscription. Yeah. So the number of employees. Number two, the modules that you would select. As I earlier said, time and attendance, leave, payroll, performance, recruitment, these are modules. But we never force a company to purchase all the modules. If a company really wants to keep it extremely simple and manage only attendance, you are completely fine with that. Right? And certain companies like enterprises, corporate companies, of course, they want the recruitment management, performance management module, because that really makes them efficient. So price differs quite a lot. So you're looking at somewhere between starting from $2 to $10 based on the module selection.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I hope that answers the question to Jamyang, who asked that question. I think there is a very generic question, which is, how do we add value as HR professionals? I think that is a sort of a broad answer. We will get back to that, Tanden. But is there any specific questions on the tool itself from the group out here? Well, I guess not. Well, thank you so much, Nafaz. Of course, if anyone is interested to know more about this product, the tool, you can always get in touch with us at Beta Park, and we will try and collaborate. But would this be a question for you? Can we integrate the existing ERP system? With,
yeah, of course. So we call it an API management system technology, where through APIs we can integrate data sets. We can actually share our data or consume data from third-party software such as ERP or of course accounting software. So that's possible, yes.
All right, great.
Yeah.
All right, great. So anyone else have any questions? I guess not. Nafaz is here for, I don't know, another 15, 20 minutes with us. So I'm sure if there are questions, he's always available. Thank you so much. We in Bhutan have not really used a lot of tools technology in the HR field itself. But yes, that is an area that we want to get into. I myself had once done a video interview on a chatbot. It was the most amazing thing that I have ever done. You know, you sit in front of the computer and there's a question in front of you and you need to answer that question immediately. It's almost like answering question to a panel, but there is no panel. It's just a, you know, pre-recorded question. So I didn't get that job, by the way, but that's a different story.
You can blame it on the bot.
Yes, absolutely. Well, is there anyone else who would want to discuss about recruitment at all? Before that, I could do another poll, which I am quite interested in. So just a generic poll right now for all our participants. There you go. If you could answer that question, we are really trying to understand where everyone comes from so that we would be able to better interact with each other, share best practices, and see what are the gaps, and also what is everyone else doing. Okay. Wow, we've got more more participation on this one. This is great. Okay. All right, it almost seems like everyone is done. So I am ending the poll right now and sharing the result with you. So the result says it is a fantastic 93% who has a defined recruitment process in the company, which is an absolute great news because, a process is so required, right? Without it, it just goes haywire. The question, of course, is, are we using the process? Are we using the process to make sure that Yasha is sort of shaking her head so she agrees? Let me also do another one, another poll, and let's see how this one looks like. All right, there you go on your screen. What are the recruitment tools do you use right now? And you can choose more than one. So it's a multiple choice question. These are generally what we use in Bhutan, Nafaz. It's a very basic way of doing it, but well, this is how we do it, and it has worked so far. I think different countries have different ways of reaching out to the target market. For us, these ways are great. It's very unique sort of result too. Let us see. Wow. All right, ending the poll right now and sharing the screen with you. This is fantastic. There are about 26% who uses job sites, and a whopping 61% who uses Facebook. I don't know if you have ever seen that anywhere else, Nafaz, and also our colleagues from Cambodia. In Bhutan, we use Facebook for recruitment. There is, of course, the company website, and amazingly, we also use newspapers to recruit our candidates. So you can see the kind of market that you're trying to get into right now. Absolutely. Isn't this fascinating? I'd be very interested to know what is the other tools that you use, which we have not really listed down out here.
So the popular methods would be, of course, job sites, then your website's career page.
That's true.
And of course, for us as a tech company or an operator in the tech industry, of course, LinkedIn works well as then usually job sites would do the job for you. Yeah, but newspapers, I mean, like, certainly not. So it's completely out. You would find, of course, government jobs on the newspapers due to the legal boundaries, where it has to be advertised. Unless or otherwise, I mean, like, why would someone buy a newspaper?
Well, we do actually. It's very
I understand.
surprising.
I'm not going to offend you. I understand.
But on a personal note, I met my boss on Facebook, and we have, as Beta Park, also put in job posting on the newspaper, and it's sort of this is what works out here. So great. That is a very interesting poll. Now there was a question out here from Sonam, which says sometimes all softwares are cumbersome in recruitment and onboarding. Is your solution easy to use? Would you say it is easy?
No, I'll break this into two, actually. It's a pretty valid question, even an opinion that I have on. There will be certain companies that we would attend several demonstration and meetings where we clearly refuse to sell them these modules, because we understand either you're not ready, you don't have the technical ability with the right HR team. You might have 1,000 employees, still you don't have the right HR team. So we would first advise getting that professional couple of HR people who understands the domain, who understand the technicality of it, right? So as I continuously says, there needs to be a resource who can use the system. So of course, at that, if you don't have that resource, it becomes a complete white elephant, cannot avoid it. And there are companies who are too small to use this tool. If you're a company with 20, 30, 40 employees, an attendance system or leave management modules would be completely fine. But a recruitment management tool is not required at all. So it's those two are the boundaries that usually I draw up, and I say, hey, you're too either small, it becomes totally unnecessary. Or even though you're bigger, you don't have the right thing. But luckily in the South Asia, it's very less these days. About 4 or 5 years ago, if you take the history, the now people are completely used, managing a technical tool of it, right? Mm-hmm. But especially recruitment, you have to be on the ball. You need to make sure that everything is filtered step by step. It is completely managed. Absolutely. You cannot come back after a week and manage it, right? So you have to be on the application managing it. So I don't want to sugarcoat and say, it works completely fine, because it doesn't, it requires your effort.
Well, we do have another follow-up question on that, which says, do you have solutions for small companies? I mean, at the end of the day, we are a small country, and our numbers are still very small. So do you have a solution for smaller companies?
Absolutely. So once again, this is going to be slightly lengthy. Give me a few seconds. So Microimage was known to serve the enterprises category for last 20 years, right? So we clearly missed a market segment, the SMB segment, where 50, 100, 150 employees, 200 employees, starting from 10 employees. So we did something fantastic. We packaged our product. We stripped down the unnecessary bells and whistles, and we packaged our product. We call that MyHCM Lite. If you just Google MyHCM Lite, you would see that web page, where it has about 4 to 5 set of modules specifically targeted at the small and medium companies, which can be installed and deployed within a week, right? Okay. So within a week, right? So and we have a special team managing those customers as well. So SMB market suddenly 1 year ago became really interesting. And throughout COVID, of course, about 80-90% revenue came from SMB, right? From whole South Asia. So yes, we do have the right product. You can have more information on mi@cm.com, and if you feel confident enough, just give us a call.
Right, great. There's one more question out here, which is very interesting. Is the attendance module that you have on your system, is it compatible with biometric system, which is very unique in Bhutan? I mean, we don't really use a lot of biometric system out here, but somebody has a question.
Of course. So yes, the answer is yes. So when you have a fingerprint detection system or a face detection system, we call these biometrics. So system works with almost any model, any make, Japanese, German, South Korean, doesn't matter, Chinese, doesn't matter. And it has to work with biometric because the whole software actually relies on your attendance data. You're tracking your in time and out time. But something really fascinating that has happened for the last 7-8 months is the mobile application based tracking has been really popular due to the COVID situation.
Oh.
So right now, people pull out their mobile. You can download our app and mark your in time and mark your out time. So that is becoming extremely popular. We had the app for last 4 years, but it's complete out of boundaries. It's extremely popular. And now there are companies who really don't want a fingerprint device anymore. They would say, hey, the app works completely fine with us. So that's another system. But answer is yes.
And I wouldn't be, comfortable trying to use my fingerprint everywhere. We are not touching anything anymore, right?
Absolutely. That's the reason the whole app is popular.
We're not touching anything anymore. So great. I think we have more questions coming in. Geolocation and attendance, is that a possibility?
Are these questions posted by
our right out here?
I did not expect these questions. These are actually really fantastic. Even though it's technically simple, I never expected these questions. Yes, we have Google location tracking onto the mobile. So when you mark your in time or the out time, it also sends the administrator, hey, this employee logged in from this location, right? It will mark the exact Google location. So geolocation mechanism is also available. And we did something extremely fantastic a couple of weeks ago. Certain things that I say fantastic, you might find it really offensive as well, because why cheat people? Why do that? Why do this? So we believe there has to be a certain discipline, right? I'm sure right? Absolutely, some discipline. Place like Bhutan, of course, a lovely place. People are lovely, but you take other markets, people are not that disciplined. So what we did is actually, along with the Google location, we also bought in something called geofencing. So now you can force someone to be on a location in order to mark his in time and out time. So it can be 2 different locations. And it forces him, he has to be within that 10 meters or 20-meter radius. So these are some things we are currently working on. So that's a fantastic question.
Can I ask you, what kind of company uses the geofencing sort of technology?
Geofencing is, for sales, marketing, technical people who regularly visits client location or regularly does site inspections. So you need to set up a discipline for them as well. And it is proven by numbers that attendance discipline has increased about 95-98% in certain companies. Yeah. So when you bring in these disciplines,
that makes sense, but at the same time, for the employees, I think that sounds a little scary also, right?
There are 2 sides,
the
whole thing. Yeah, a company is paying you for a certain hours, and if they are not confident enough. I have faced personally certain demonstrations where customers clear out reviews. They say, hey, we trust our guys. They have been delivering the numbers. They have been performing fine. So we really don't want it, right? So we can actually remove the Google location service, still use the app to mark your in and out times, remove the Google location services. But there are certain companies, majority of the companies that I would walk in have this problem, and this is the solution for them.
Great, that makes sense. There is a question from Ishay who says, any Bhutanese companies currently using the software? I'm assuming no. Right? This is the first time that we are introducing this product to the Bhutanese market.
We would love to. We are looking at Bhutanese market very differently, as the whole world know. It's a very different place.
It's a unique market. We are the only market where we put our ads on the newspaper for recruitment. So
the only country who has a happiness index, so it's not going to be easy to work with you guys.
Absolutely. True. Well, thank you so much. I mean, we have how many participants? We have 42 participants on the Zoom call right now. And most of the participants come from the P&C space, so people and culture space. Would anybody want to say anything right now? It could be challenges that you're facing. It could be about a new technology. It could be about a new process. It could be a new person that you have hired right now. So is there anybody who would want to share something or, suggest a topic for the next talk that we could have? Anybody at all?
You might have to unmute them, or they can do it themselves, Minu?
Yes, they can.
Okay, and I think there are 2 other questions that are in the queue.
Oh, I must have missed it. Could you look into that question? Which one is that? Okay, I have one big question out here.
Let me, are you reading it?
Oh, please go ahead.
Before the big question.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm still struggling. Okay, the bigger question is, does the software allow for psychometric testing to be integrated into the software for 360 multi-rater recruitment and performance appraisal purpose? Nafas.
Okay, number one, I'll be very straightforward. Psychometric testing, I have no idea what's that about. However, since it works, talks about 360 multi-rater, yes, the performance management 360 rating mechanism where your peers, your colleagues, all these parties rates, it is available under the performance management module. We cover the recruitment management module. Performance management module has this 360 criteria. Yeah.
All right. Wait.
Sorry, I could not answer the whole question. Not that bright, it seems.
The next question is, will you have a local rep in Bhutan? Is it better?
Absolutely. Well,
okay, yeah. that was the shortest answer. Thank you, Nafas. And who are your competitors?
Well, that's pretty gray answer based on the market, based on the country. Competitors change a lot, and there are some excellent products out there as well, similar to Microimage. A couple of products I would say pretty similar to Microimage, and I would refrain from naming.
Okay.
A simple Google search would bring you a few competitors. Mm. But that said, when it comes to innovation, we are extremely proud to say, when it comes to innovation, Microimage is way ahead. Right? Every quarter you would see Microimage is doing something extremely crazy. It brings a surprise to the whole HR community. Right? They would, we at least see about next 3-4 years, like the video interviews, chatbot interviews. If you see our apps, certain other integrations that we have, certain other options, innovation, Microimage is way ahead. We don't feel that we are competing with anyone, but there are good competitors out there.
Great.
Cool. That's it for now. So over back to you, Minu.
All right, there is a question coming in, but let me see if I could do a poll, right? So this is specifically for all our HRs. Back into the on your screen. For the HRs in the group right now, do you know the people requirement from the company's business plan? Or are you working based on somebody telling you, all right, today we need this person and tomorrow I need that person? Voting going on. I think this is the first time that HRs and business leaders and entrepreneurs working in the people space is coming together. Just us, nobody external. So it's very exciting. All right, so ending poll out here, 55% says yes, I know the people requirement. 23% says no, and 23% says that I have a general idea. So this is also great. I hope for the direct HR people on this group, I hope this kind of polls are also giving you an idea of what is happening in the other, with the other people, other HRs and other companies and other industries. Okay, I think there was one question. Let me see. How is your software different from Monday.com? Is it reliable, affordable, and secure? Nafaz, I think that's for you.
Yeah. So Monday.com, I have been on the site a couple of times. I have never investigated into the available modules or functionalities. So sorry, I could not throw out an answer on that. But when it comes to reliability, see, the reliability is judged in different mechanisms. So I'm quite not sure what's reliable for you is reliable for me, but I'll just speak out on terms of our hosting partner and our application. That's two different things. So we work with Microsoft Azure, and it also opens up the opportunity for me to let you all know that we are Microsoft ISV partner for whole South Asia, the award winner for continuous 2 years, including last year. So that speaks a ton about our reliability, right? I'm not referring to Sri Lanka. I'm referring to the whole South Asia, right? To be the most valuable ISV partner of Microsoft. So the whole application is hosted on the Microsoft Azure environment. So I don't have to attest on behalf of Microsoft. They got it covered about the security and the reliability. And when it comes to our application, we make sure that our application is reliable, secured, 99.9 uptime is guaranteed. There are technical ways to assure these terms rather than me telling you, yes, it is reliable. There are technical and way that these are audited. So we have the complete set of certifications that is submitted while on this process. So yes, and affordable. Once again, it is completely perspective. And I personally believe, yes, compared to the products out there, we are pretty affordable. Because our whole company, including our CEO, our vision is to give every company a lovely digital product. And we truly believe on that vision, just rather than blindly ripping off customers and making, a ton of money, we believe that our product can really help. So we become extremely flexible when we see certain companies. And you would not believe there are certain factories which 5,000, 10,000 employees, we would rather give it free and say, hey, use this. I mean, like, seeing your unprofessional HR process gives us a heart attack, right? So use it, right? Make it streamlined. So that's where we operate. So yes, I would say, we are affordable. If you're a small and medium company, $2 to $3, maximum $5 per employee, you're done. If you're a corporate, it's much less. So it's next to nothing, actually.
Cool. Thank you. Well, let us ask questions to the audience right now, to everyone participating. So what are your current recruitment challenges? So if you had to just put in one-liner as a recruitment challenge in your company, in your department, what would that be? If you could put that on the chat, let's just go through it and let's look at what everyone else is, what are the challenges that everyone else is facing in recruitment. I'm just going to hold my breath and wait for everyone to try. Type in. Or maybe, what are the recruitment challenges in the COVID time, if you are recruiting, that is. How to recruit right person for the right post. People trying to influence the processes. I can feel you. I can feel you on that. Cannot get the right people? Yes. Training for our HR assistants. Understandable. Ooh, this one is under the table. Always done under the table. Come across interesting people with minimum competencies. Top-down management. Finding someone who can take the risk for the hired post. How to rope in people with long-term aim to be with the organization. Oh my God, we can feel you. HR retention and motivation. That would come under the HR engagement sort of a space, but yes. Looking beyond qualification, right? Good attitude. And also recruitment is considered to be a thankless job. Even if the organization is achieving results, HR professionals are not thanked for recruiting the right employee, and performers, lack of motivation. Organizing written exams and PIs have been difficult during the COVID time.
It's
Seems
flowing
like
like water, the comments and questions. Wow.
Absolutely, I'm stunned.
Interesting.
I'm like, these are some lovely questions. I did not expect this. I love this audience.
Seems right in the beginning, but when going far, it turns out to be hopeless. Recruitment is a long process, you know, from the minutes that we put out our the vacancies to getting the candidates sent in the CV, to, you know, having the first round of interview, second round of interview, and then giving the offer letter and the person actually accepting the offer. It's a very, very long process. So yes, you know, you really need to keep yourself motivated until the end of the whole process. Attitude and personalities of candidates are hard to know while recruiting. Yes. Us people in the HR field, we need to have a sixth sense, right? I mean, we need to judge a person on the first half an hour to see if the person would be right for our company with our vision and our culture. So yes, understandable. Applicants don't perform with the same enthusiasm as performing in the beginning. So somebody who'd come for an interview seems really fantastic, may not be fantastic after week one. We hear you too. CVs are flashy, but delivery once recruited is iffy. I love the way Karma has used the word iffy. I mean, yes, it's iffy. How to retain as much as we attract them. I mean, you know, which is also fantastic is these kind of issues are not just issues for the Bhutanese market. This is an issue that has been faced by HRs and recruiters globally. But the silver lining for Bhutan is because we are a small country, because we have so much of power in our hand, we are able to make the difference. So all these comments around process not being followed or everything being done under the table, these are really, really avoidable issues. And we speak to the right people. We create the kind of process. So for example, if today at Beta Park, we become very, very stringent in terms of recruitment, somebody else follows it, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, week, year, the entire companies in Bhutan would follow that. Because if you don't, then you'd be the odd one out, and you will not be respected in the market. So I think it's very important that all of us stick together, stick to our ethics, stick to our processes, and say, yes, this is what we're going to do. And I think this is really, we can make it happen. Recruitment can be a fantastic thing in Bhutan, but all of us together, right? Yeah, I mean, retention is important. We will touch base on retention, on employee engagement in the coming, dialogues. If there is anything else that you would want to share with us, online, offline, please do come forward, and we'd be more than happy to work with you guys and try and figure out, a way forward for not just our company, your company, but for the whole country together, right? And
hello at betapark.bt.
Thank you. Hello at betapark.bt. We're also very active on social media, so you can always get in touch with us. And we do understand there was a comment about courses also. We understand that currently, HRs are working very hard on recruitment. It is considered as a thankless job. Although we are the building blocks of the entire company, the whole process is not seen as important enough. And the amount of hard work, and not just in terms of processes and systems and tools, but also in terms of how much of heart that we put into the process, right? To select the right candidate, it takes a lot of heart. It takes a lot of rapport building. It takes a lot of emotional connections from all of us. So, we do that. So what we want to do is also try to make sure that business leaders, and that is one of the reasons that we have invited them into this forum, is to make sure that everyone is aware that these are very important processes, and business leaders need to give it a second look. And entrepreneurs need to give it a second look, and it should not be something at the back of, under the table or whatever it is. So great. There is one more. Karma, I love your comments. Hiring is by empathy, and so is work. In Bhutan, I think everybody knows everyone, so a lot of recruitment happens because of networking, because of, somebody knows somebody else. And it may not be the worst thing, because at the, what we also do in the recruitment field is use the concept of referral, right? Referral process is not just to bring in new people, but also to bring in people who will have an emotional connection to the company. And that is why we say, all right, hey, refer your friend. If two friends are working together, they will work better, right? So it is not a bad thing to be to look at this process in terms of empathy and personal network. But at the same time, it should not put us in a boundary which says, okay, we are only going to do it in this way. We would have to look, like somebody commented, beyond our professional degrees and beyond just an educational qualification. We would have to look into skills. You'd have to look into the attitude of the person. You have to make sure that the attitude matches with your culture of the company. Right. So it's a very important job. It's a very big job. There are so many different elements that we will have to look into. And we are so very glad that everyone is in this Zoom call sharing your feedback. What we will do is we will sort of collate everything. And if anybody would like to, please get in touch with us. We will share all of our data with you. If you want to have more information on the trainings also, please come forward. We will sort of customize it for you and to make sure that it matches what is your requirement. Now, I think we are almost at the end of the session. If anybody has a question or a suggestion for the next dialogue, please let us know. And if not, then thank you so much. This has been a fantastic dialogue. I hope everyone enjoyed. Please visit us next week, also next month, and let us know your feedback. This is absolutely great.
May I, Minu, if you're closing?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Minu, for wonderfully taking us through this journey. This is the first of the series. I didn't actually expect this to go so smoothly, but great job, Minu and team. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone from Cambodia. I saw Dr. Pema Choje from Australia. That technical question was from Australia, Nafas. And different parts of the world, really amazed by the turnout. Of course, I tried to reach, and all of us tried to reach all our networks because this was going to be the first one. And so we were a little nervous in the morning, but I guess we have a wonderful evening. So thank you very much, Nafas, especially demonstrating the product beautifully. And I hope you will take the psychometric question and see how you can tackle that within the product in your next version. And thank you for trusting us with the platform today and the association. And we look forward to taking this forward immediately. And as Minu said, to all of you here, thank you for investing your time with us. Please feel free to reach us anytime. We will respond to you 24/7. And we are there at www.bitapark.bt or www.libt.com. beta.edu.bt. But not to confuse you, we gave you a simple email, hello@betapark.bt. So that's it from Jamjeka. We do this series, as Minu mentioned in the beginning, every second Tuesday of the month, and we will have many interesting sessions every month. I wanted to take this opportunity also to announce another interesting event that we're going to host next week, every third Tuesday of every month, called the Beta Talks. And the topic for the first series is rethinking education for the global market, with the objective to create awareness of the shift from education to learning and development, challenges that Bhutan could face with this shift, and the need to shift in mindset towards learning and development and the value of it. But I'm not going to say everything, otherwise you might take away everything now and then will not come back to us. So we look forward to seeing you or some of you at that event, and hopefully for the second round of P&C talks on the second Tuesday of February. Thank you very much. Good evening, and I guess Australia is actually midnight or so. Good night. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
See you next month. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good day.